people. As we go about that business, help us remember the least of our brothers and sisters and help us help them. Amen.
Okay, roll call, Shelley.
Dick Lay.
Here.
Frankie Hargis.
Here.
Buell England.
Here.
Jack Baker.
Here.
Joe Berg. Julia Coates. Jody Fishenhawk. Meredith Rayleigh. Here. Janelle Fulbright. Here. Don Garvin. Chuck Hoskin Jr.
Here.
China Glory Jordan.
Present.
Lee Keener. Curtis Snell.
Here.
David Thornton. David Walkingstick. Kara Cowan Watts. Honey, we do have a quorum.
I'm here. Entertain a motion for approval of minutes.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to move to amend the agenda to consider the resolution in front of you here. It's an application to the Federal Highway Administration to apply for bridge funding for Bridge 15 in Mays County.
Moved and seconded.
That'll be
All in favor?
Sorry, item 5 under new business.
Aye.
Aye.
Any discussion? Just acclamation. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. Human Services, Marshall Lamb.
Good afternoon. I only have a couple of things. I want to report that the Veterans Center is at its last stage, and I tried to get a date before I came over here, but that they would walk away from it, but I wasn't able to do that. We have an estimate, not a bid, but we have an estimate on what it would cost to finish this project from Flint Call, and it was around $1.6 million. Now that's just an estimate, but I wanted to keep you abreast of that. The Nowata Food Distribution Center opening has been delayed. We had some staff issues. We hired a manager. He was in training, and over the weekend he got hurt, so he's going to have surgery, and he's probably going to be out for a while. We also have not had all of our staff hired, and the phone system is not in. We're looking at March 19th, so maybe it won't be delayed too long. And I've been in contact with IS to try to get that done on the phone system, and HR and all that. The senior nutrition site that's going to be in the same building is basically in the same shape, so we can't do business without phone. That is all I really had to report. If you have any questions.
Any questions? Councilman Hoskins?
Mr. Chairman, I wonder if in the interest of time you'd entertain a motion to dispense with the oral reports and just rely on the written reports.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Marcia. Okay, old business, none pending, and new business, Simon or David, would you like to take that?
Yes, I'll be glad to take it if you'd like someone to. Mr. Walker,
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, this is a resolution authorizing the Bureau of Indian Affairs to revise and update the Cherokee Nation's inventory of Indian reservation roads. As y'all are aware, usually on a yearly basis, we update the IRR list, and that's what we're doing here. It's simply a housekeeping measure. and I would put that in the form of a motion.
Second.
Motion and second, any discussion? Councilman?
Mr. Chairman, without objection from the sponsor, could I be added as a co-sponsor as
Yes.
there's a road? Yes,
Yes, maybe possibly everybody might want to be added because it concerns everybody's roads.
You want to be added, Mr. Zoll?
Could I maybe just ask of Mr. Sutherland or Mr. Lynn if he's here, is there a need for this to go to full council tonight?
No, ma'am, there's not.
Okay.
If it all works out and the weather permits, we don't have any cancellations in March, it should be voted on, I think, on March 14th, or 12th, and then but we will need it signed fairly quickly by all parties, including the administration, so we can get it submitted by the 15th. So.
Well, with that, I would just put you all on notice that I will ask that be put on tonight's agenda. That only gives him 3 days to get everything done if we wait till March 12th. And with the weather situation, I would hate to take that chance that we could lose something in the way of funding or something because we don't have this into the government.
Right.
So I will ask that it go on to full council tonight.
Second. So, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, the next one is for David Thornton.
Yes. Is Mr. Hicks happen to be here? Ryan Callison happen to be here? Okay. What this is surplus equipment that happens to be a water filter system that we happen to have 3 of them at Weber Falls. Why they're at Weber Falls, I don't know. I don't have any idea. But I know that the town of Gore is needing another filter system to add to their water plant. And this water plant distributes water throughout the city of Gore and in the Gore area. And what I'm trying to get across is I'd like to make a motion to donate this surplus equipment to the city of Gore.
Second.
Now, I think there's some questions that want to be asked about this that hadn't ever arose before. And I think Mr. Walkenstedt has a
Mr.
question.
Walkenstedt.
All right. Well, what I propose is before we put this in surplus, that we come to an agreement of the reduction of water bills to the customers in that area. I guess the ECOWA Board of Directors, that we visit them. If we're going to be giving them or putting some of our property in surplus to help everyone out, I think our Cherokees should benefit from it, and maybe a small % reduction in the water bills. Because as it is, most board of directors in the water district, they kind of done away with if you have a huge water leak, of maybe giving them like an emergency assistance and helping them out in some ways. And so this might be able to supplement some of those losses, especially, and it'll help benefit our Cherokees by giving. And I don't know what this system is worth, this filter system. It may be worth, hundreds of thousands, or it may be worth $5,000. I don't know. But so, anyways, that's something I like to propose. Maybe we can make a friendly amendment of so forth that we before we put this in a surplus, that we meet with the ECOWA Board of Directors and
Okay.
see if we can decrease that.
This equipment is already in surplus.
It's already in surplus.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just sitting there.
Before we
There's
get
3
it.
of these systems sitting where we fall from. And why they're over there, I don't know. That's one reason I was wanting to find out.
Yeah. Well,
And
before
so
we give
we
it to
still
them,
have questions on this, and I think we need to maybe table this. I hate to table it because I know that they're going to need this system. But maybe we can table it and have someone here to answer our questions, because I have some questions more than you. More than you. because one of the prices, I'd like to know what it costs.
Yeah.
We've given out surplus system before, systems that cost quite a bit of money. Now, I'm talking about systems that probably run up into $100,000. And we didn't say a thing about,
Yeah.
whether we're going to help our people or not. But this will help our people in the long run, because I know that these people that are on here, the mayor over there, he's Cherokee. Horace Lindley, I don't know if he is or not, but and the mayor works for us, so he knows that system's over there. So maybe we need to table this and wait just a month until we get this going. So I'm going to make a motion to table it right now. With my second.
Second.
Okay, thank you. And we want to ask and see if we can get these people here, to talk about this, because I know it's going to help that city tremendously if they put in another system, because they have two in, and a third one's going to, add a third water supply to their system. So we need to do this and find out when they're going to have it. That's another thing.
Yeah.
No. Thank you.
All in favor of the table? Not in favor of the table? Okay, that brings us up to number 3, Councilor Jordan.
Yes, this item was brought to us by Rick Gasaway and Molly Jarvis. There are set-aside funds out there on a national level where these funds can be utilized by tribes to bring in Big Brothers, Big Sisters programs to mentor some of our Cherokee youth. And they have asked me to sponsor this. There's no, this is just an attempt to capture some of those funds so that we could set up such a program, and there is no matching funds, and I would ask that, or put this in the form of a motion.
Would be added.
Okay, it's made and seconded. Discussion, Councilor.
I'd like to know what the procedures of this Big Brothers Big Sister deal is right now. I know in a lot of these cities that they get into different things where we have.
Molly's here.
Well,
Molly is actually, has been affiliated with Big Brothers and Big Sisters for numerous years, and I think she can speak more to that.
Thank you.
Then these people that are added as Big Brothers and Big Sisters, did they have a background check run on them?
Yes,
Okay. If
Yes.
they in any way don't clear that background, they can't be. Then.
correct.
Is there a certain age that they have to be a Big Brother and a Big Sister?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
And I have with me, here she is, Christy Smithson, who is with Big Brothers and Sisters. She's the Native American Partnership, manages that program for them, and brought this resolution before you today, and she can answer any questions. Yes, there are age limits for bigs
18 and up, and they have to have graduated from high school.
to be a big, and yes, there are extensive background checks into individuals who are matched.
Would you do you excuse me? Do you also do that to the family of the brother or sister?
Of the
Background
little
family any
or the big volunteer?
Big volunteer.
Yes, they do a home visit
Oh,
of the big
Do you
volunteer.
just background the person, or do you background the family,
well, with
the immediate family?
the volunteer, it's just the volunteer that comes in to go through the process. But with the child and the parents get to come in and we interview both the child and the parents.
Yeah, but the volunteer that volunteers, is he the only one that you background in that immediate family?
Yes.
Yeah, they don't do a background check on
You don't
spouse
do
or anything.
his siblings or his father or mother, whoever he's living with, or you don't do anything like that?
Well, the big is an adult, so usually that's their
Right.
person. But no, they don't do a spouse or anything like
Where
that.
do these children, do they visit these people's homes? Do they go in their homes?
We'll talk about that process.
Yeah. Yes, the kids, if they're a community-based match, the volunteer does get to go into the home and pick up the child and take them out in the community and do activities, and that would have to have the parents permission.
I think he's asking, is the little allowed to go to the big's home?
After a year, they are allowed to do sleepovers, but there's not a whole lot of that. They don't normally do that, but you have to wait a whole year, and you have to get permission from the parent, and I think they do home visits.
Mm-hmm. To give you an example of this process, yeah, I was a big for a number of years too. She actually was a Cherokee citizen, and everything is based on the parents' approval of where we're going, what we're doing. You're asked to spend 3 to 5 hours a week with the child to start out, and that's, as Christy mentioned, 1 hour a week?
1 hour a week, 2 or 3 times a month.
Okay. Yeah, so usually it's going to get a soda, talking about how's school, how are things, maybe going to the library, going to something. They try to encourage events that don't cost money, because it's not about the big buying the little things. It's more about the relationship and having a mentor, someone who can show you some experiences that maybe this little is not getting in their home life. Again, there are extensive background checks, and we can go through that process a little more in depth. Think of other important things to tell you about the process. Again, the parents are very involved in the okay of what the child is doing.
Yeah, I'm just very adamant in protecting our children.
Absolutely. And I think this is, one of the best programs in the nation. Has a very strong reputation for the program and safety concerns.
Yes, safety is our number one concern. And we do have a school-based match where the child, if the parent is not all about going to the home and picking up the child, they can have a school-based match where it's more of a structured environment, and the volunteer is only allowed to go into the school to hang out with their little.
And so they're meeting with them an hour a week in a supervised environment, but it's still allowing a mentor relationship to take place.
Thank you.
And I'll just add one more way that they can interact are Big Brothers and Sisters will sponsor activities that are more social events. So they may be at a community center where the littles and bigs from multiple groups are coming together to eat a meal or do an event together. So more of a social activity.
I think Councilor Watts next. Did you have your hand up? Yeah.
Thank you, Chairman Lay. So I just want to make sure, I think we've talked about this online, but I just want to make sure all minds are clear. There is no conflict with our existing grants or future grants. Those will all be vetted through the tribe appropriately so that we're not competing with tribal grants versus the...
Correct. We've verified that with Reba Crawford and gone through that process. The monies that we're talking about, the federal funding that is available is through OJJDP. It is set aside in a pocket of money that's strictly and only for Big Brothers and Sisters to apply for. So it wouldn't be available for any tribal youth programs to apply for other than Big Brothers and Sisters.
Okay. And then, of course, Cherokee Nation citizens would still be given preference, and the dollars would be towards our tribal citizens.
If an award is granted, a federal grant is granted to Cherokee or to Big Brothers and Sisters to work with Cherokee Nation as part of this program, it would be strictly to match Cherokee citizens with Cherokee youth.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Councilor Watkins.
I'd like to make a recommendation. I'm in education, and I know that unsupervised situations can lead to lawsuits and as well as sleepovers. And so I really refrain in your policies to just try to keep a supervised at all times and no sleepovers. That's all. Thank you.
Yeah, anybody in the program would follow all the policies that are in place through Big Brothers and Sisters National.
All right, thank you.
Right. They would be the supervisors of the program, not Cherokee Nation.
All right. Councilwoman Fraley.
Chairman, the process at the Cherokee Nation, how are we involved And who coordinates that with the tribe?
Okay, that would be Christy. That's part of her job as the Native American Partnership Manager. And it's my understanding at this point that we would be working with our community services group, so through Rick Gassaway's department, to help identify youth whose parents sign them up who feel like they could benefit from a mentor, and then identify bigs. We would go out into community organizations and kind of recruit people who are interested in becoming bigs. And Christy would work directly with an employee at Cherokee Nation to do that.
So community services would develop the policies and procedures to do that?
Well, I mean, Big Brothers and Sisters policies and procedures will be used and probably adopted by Cherokee Nation, and then if any changes to make it a little tighter if they want to, I'm sure it could be worked out.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Any more? Okay, thank you, Molly. And so we've got a motion and a second, and roll call on this. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, number 4, Councilor Hoskins.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, this is a resolution authorizing revision of the 2008 Indian Housing Plan, and more specifically, it makes a change in how money is dealt with the Delaware tribe, and I'd like to ask our housing representative, Mr. Sutherland, to address it further.
I'll second his motion.
Move to approve.
The intent is we've got a little bit of ARA money, the stimulus money left over. The folks at the Delawares have $215,000. This money has to be out the door, out of the bank account, spent. I think the drop dead date's April the 8th. We kind of put March 31st as the deadline, so we have a little breathing room there. But they're not going to be able to spend it. So we've met with them. We've offered to, in exchange for us spending this money, to give them $215,000 out of the 2012 money once we start budgeting it. It's kind of changing dollar for dollar. What we need today is this plan approved that changes the funding from them to us, and then in the budget mod tonight, this does need to be brought forth in it, so we have spending authority.
So we do have a head inspector general written opinion that says that it is appropriate under the RR, because the ARA funds are extremely regulated, as I think they should be. And we signed an MOA, right, with the Delaware tribe and the U.S. government, because they cannot receive housing funds. We are the housing authority, and they have to receive it from us.
Yes.
I'm not opposed to it, but I can't vote for something that I don't think, if it's not legal and proper. And I didn't hear that we have a HUD inspector general opinion in writing that says.
We don't have anything in writing. We wouldn't have anything from the HUD Inspector General. I've spoken to the HUD folks and explained to them what we proposed. They said that's between you and the Delawares. What we determined that they get and what we agree upon.
But you didn't get that from HUD, our area head office. It's not in writing.
I can't remember if I got an email to that effect or not.
Did we amend the MOA with the Delaware to address this?
We've met with the Delawares. They have not signed it. They've agreed to it, but they have not signed it. And we could not do this if they don't sign that and agree to it.
But the resolution doesn't say that. They're depending on the MOA finalization. And I don't remember, does the MOA itself require our approval, or is it just the chief's signature? No.
The way it's set up, there's a master agreement with the tribe that covers everything. And then in housing specifically, there's a sub-recipient agreement. That doesn't change. When we have new money, or in this case, old money that we're doing something different with, we put together a one-page little amendment to the sub-agreement. And we have sent one to them. I'm expecting it back anytime, signed. The chief will sign it, and everyone will have agreed to that. It makes reference to all the agreements that are already in place. That's how they've done it since this started.
And then we would update through the process of this through Vicki Hanby's group that this is how those RF funds was
Yeah,
calculated? They
I've-
were supposed to have been spent like,
Yeah,
Some
the housing one, the funds that I had, we actually thought we were all spent, but there was some type of correction last March that there are about 30 or 40,000 extra dollars, and that was in the budget mod anyway to spend. But this 215, they cannot spend it. And what we're proposing to do with it is replace equipment, and that's certainly within the regulation of what we can do with it.
Mr. Chairman, I don't know if the good councilman from up north would be, if there's some kind of language that could be added, like as a friendly amendment that says contingent upon the approval of that final MOA, because this could get us.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that, and that is a custody problem.
Yeah, I think that would be proper.
I wonder, since this is going to full council, Councilman Watts, can we just get some language for full council, or do you want to work on some language right now, which I'm fine to do?
No, just if you'll present it at full council for the vote,
Sure.
it has that language. So I was the second, and I presented a friendly, and the primary accepted, so that would be part of the motion now.
Yeah, certainly.
That's
Okay.
part of the entire motion.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and Councilman Hoskins.
And Councilor Hoskins, you had your hand up, did you?
I think it's been addressed, but David, in terms of our ability to use the money we're going to be using, we're not restricted. This doesn't tie our hands in any way in terms of the
No,
money.
the only thing that ties our hand is the deadline.
Right.
To
That-
spend it.
The only concern I had was, are we going to be able to do less with this pot of money than we could have with the other money that we're passing
Well,
through? And I think the answer is no.
We've always got, I shouldn't say we always, but we do. We always need vehicles. I got lots of vehicles and lots of them worn out that need to be replaced, and we try to take the most conservative approach. This is money that needs to be spent, and we can certainly use the vehicles. And that's the intent. I've already talked with purchasing. They assure me that they can get it turned around quickly, and we can get some new equipment in the door.
Very good. Thank you, Ms. Sullivan. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Councilor Thornton?
Yes, David, I need to ask you about this $215,000. It's the way I get it that we're pulling $215,000 out of 2012 budget.
Well, the money that we're talking about, the 2012 funding, we haven't even budgeted it yet. We just actually got notification, you might have even seen something in the newspapers where Cherokee Nation's getting $29 million and something. It will be budgeted in that. Right now, it hasn't been budgeted at all.
If the money's not there, how are we going to pull it out of there?
Well, we're not asking you to do that.
Later on, they're gonna give us
Yeah, we're not going to do
$215,000.
that. We're going to give it to them when we budget it. When we start budgeting that 2012 money, then it will get budgeted at that time. They're taking it on good faith that we're going to give them $215,000 out of a future Indian housing plan. This isn't a. We just don't feel like we want it.
I'm just really adamant in what we're going to do with this 2012 budget. I'm adamant in the way that I think that we need to build more than 50 houses. I think we need to build close to 300.
Well,
And I think that that's where we need to go to, and that's where we've been in the past. If you remember back in the 99, 2000,
Yeah.
you remember that Barbara Starr Scott said, you're going to build 250 or 300 homes this year? And I think that that's where we need to get back to. If we're not going to let this funding go out on this $15,000 grants to people where they can buy homes, then we need to take that money and build houses. And I'm going to be real adamant in upping that, to 250, 300 homes a year. And I think that's what we need to do. And I think that giving out $215,000 out of that program without even knowing what we've got there and what's going at and where it's going to come from, I'm really not for that. And if they can't spend their money, then something's wrong.
Well,
I know we could spend their money.
I understand what you're saying. This is just an attempt not to lose $215,000.
Then we're going to lose the $215,000 if they don't.
Not really. We're talking about replacing equipment that we need. This
We
is
don't
not.
have $215,000 to replace our own equipment.
Well, give you an example. If I had, like in one of my budgets in the 2012, if I were to replace five vehicles out of one budget and 5 out of another, I'm just doing it right here out of one pot of money.
Answer this, do we have $25 million in proceeds of sale?
About that. Of course, and that's what we're using to build houses with. When we start building, the Housing Authority Board's already appropriated $5 million to start building. As soon as we get things in place, get some applications processed, we're going to start building out of that money. The idea that we've got is, once we get that complete, we're going to go get a bank loan for about $60,000 in the Housing Authority's name. We're going to be able to charge those folks about $350 a month. That'll include taxes, insurance, and everything.
Well, if we do that, $350 a month, then that's going to cut out our low-income people.
Well,
we're going to cut them plumb out, because when you charge them $350 for a house a month, and then they're going to go in and pay $100 for electric, water, and whatever else they can go, there's $450 a month that they're going to have to pay. And I'd like to look at that too. I don't think that's right.
Well,
so, I'm adamant on keeping that money myself, but I don't know how.
I understand what you're saying.
Okay.
But I'm gonna make a suggestion that we probably need to sit down with the chief and talk about it.
I think we need to sit down with this council and talk about it, because I think this council is the barrier of the funding. And I think that money, when it came out of the federal government, and it used to go into the Housing Authority, and it passed through without passing through the nation. I think when it started passing through the nation, it passed through this council now. And I think we should be adamant about that funding now.
Well,
that's just the way I feel.
I understand.
I love
it brings up the.
I love the loan of $15,000 to get people in homes, but that also left our people that couldn't afford it. It left our low-income people out. And if we're going to build these houses, people, we need to bring in something that gives our low-income people a chance to afford one of these houses. And if we can't do that, then we're still going to be stuck with our elders sitting out there having 2 to 3 families in their house. And I can go show you where that's happening right now. And these houses are falling in on them, and it's not helping anything. We need to help these people, and it's low income budget, and I don't know exactly how we can do it, but we need to get together and do it.
I do have one question, and I'm being very serious. How much income should a family have to be able to afford a house?
I don't know, but I can tell you in the past, the MH houses went all the way from $10 a month up to whatever.
Yeah.
And I don't think many of them went $200. But I think we need to sit down and figure out a way that we can go back to helping these people, get them in a nice home, get our kids, our children, where they can come into a home in the evening and be proud of what they're walking into. And I think that our low-income people are the people we need to focus on. I don't think the upper class, middle class people are the people we need to focus on. I think we still need to give out a $15,000 loan to those people to get them a home, but I think that money, most of it, can go for these homes, and I hope that everybody else thinks that too. But anyway, that's my vision on this, and the $215,000. I hate to take it out of that budget, because if it can come out of Old 10's budget, we can figure out a way to do that. That'd be great too. Old 11's or something. But I hate to take it out of 2012. That's just my thoughts on it. Thank you. I'll shut my mouth. Thank you, sir. Take care of my own business now.
Council,
you guys would do that.
In the grant that you guys submitted in this report, it does say that you guys will provide the construction of 200 new homes in there. You guys got that written in there. But that's not my question. And in this application, it says that you're going to provide $255,000 to operate the 1937 Act programs of the Housing Authority of Delaware Tribe.
Yeah.
And so, is this for next year?
No,
The 255?
that's a good question. This 2008, the only thing that is in this 2000, we've closed out all these Indian housing plans just recently, and they all go into one now, except for the stimulus. There was 2 different stimulus from HUD. I got one. Community Services got one. The one we're talking about is the one that I got, and but the 2.8 million or the 255,000, that has nothing to do with this. This was what they got out of the 2008 grant. They've already spent that. This is just a different line item, and I think it's 1A.
It's a 1D, and it's on page 7
Yeah.
of the application.
We're if you look at the strikeout on 1B, it says provide modernization assistance to 18 low-rent units at an average of $5,800 per unit for the Delawares. And then they changed it to purchase equipment and tools to establish a force account crew. All that's being deleted. They're not going to do that. And what we're going to do is purchase equipment, as you'll find in 1A, where it says, and purchase equipment to replace dilapidated equipment. All these other things, they've already been done and closed out.
Even the 38,000 for the Boys and Girls Club?
Yeah.
Okay. One more question real quick. Insurance programs. What kind of insurance programs do we have that goes through NAHASDA?
Through NAHASDA, none.
Okay.
Our Community Shield... Go ahead.
This application right here on page 5, it says provide housing management funds to operate the Cherokee Nation rental assistance, mortgage assistance, and insurance programs.
Okay. That is for the staff. It's like 1, 2... I think I got 2 staff people that handle what's called the Community Shield program. It's where we get homeowners coverage for privately owned homes. We got 3 different policies. We got an $80,000 policy, $110,000, and $130,000. And I got 2 staff that are paid from NAHASDA to do that. But the funds to pay the premium are actually Housing Authority proceeds of sale funds, and we reuse those every year. As a matter of fact, I sent the invoice for the premium today. It was a little over $1 million to pay for the Community Shield program. And I was going to report that the premiums only went up $1 per year per policy. So we're proud about that.
That's all. Thank you, Chair.
Councilor Gloria Jordan.
David, as I understand it, all you're trying to do in revising this 208 Indian Housing Plan is to add in a provision to reallocate the ARRA funds back to us.
Yeah.
That's all that's being done.
Yes.
And your plan then is to take that $215,000 and buy needed equipment with it before April 8th.
Yes.
And then later on, we will work with the Delawares and getting some money back to them.
Yes.
Through one of our plans.
Right.
And I'm all in favor of that. I have a complete understanding of what you're wanting to do. The only additional thing I want to add is when you buy that equipment, will you look at those alternative fuel vehicles so that maybe you can be the pilot program to show the tribe that there would be a cost savings if we bought those?
We can. The only problem with that is not a lot of them, I don't think, are right on the lots ready to be, and we've got to have delivery before we write the check.
But if you could find some,
If we could, yeah.
You would look
we've got
at that.
Tahlequah's got 2 of the, whatever you call those propane.
And those were paid for with ARRA funds to build the alternative gas stations that we have in Tahlequah.
We will look at that.
We need some of the vehicles now so that we can test the whole idea of whether this would be feasible for us to encourage the public even to buy these vehicles. So I'm really hoping that you can find some of them to put them on the road and maybe look into what the cost difference is between the new ones that you have to buy that are regular fuel and the ones that maybe we buy that are alternative fuel, and we can run them for a year or 2 and see if there is a cost savings.
We'll look.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Councilor Fraley.
Yes. David, since these funds were obligated to the Delaware, I guess you'd say, and they'd have to be de-obligated, correct? And we don't have a written approval, written HUD approval, you understand, right?
Right.
Have we done an analysis of the practicality or even the feasibility of doing the Delaware project for them? Because we have to get that money back sometime anyway.
We had, when we first had Aura, I offered that to them. We offered to go up and do the write-up, do the bidding, have an inspector, the whole smear. They first agreed to do that. And then after about a month, they said, no, we're going to do this ourselves. And we even brought them down and did training over at rehab on cost estimates. They even bought the cost estimating software that we use so they could be, but they had so much turmoil going on since then with those folks that we were working with. A couple of them don't even work there no more. And with the tribe taking over, they're looking now at purchasing a couple of apartments or duplexes or something, and they just can't close it in time to spend this money. But yes, we did offer to do that.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Councilor Fishenhoff?
So David, if we don't approve the reprogramming of Delaware's ARRA monies, it goes back to the Fed?
Yeah.
In a nutshell. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Councilor Hosmer?
Well, Mr. Chairman, if there's no debate, I'd call for the question, but before doing so, we need this to go to full council. Is that correct?
Please.
Just in case it wasn't clear.
Yeah, the needs to be added to the budget mod tonight.
Okay. So,
Is March 15th deadline said?
No, it's the drop dead is actually April 8th. I'm trying to get it all done before March 31st for a couple of reasons.
Is this merchandise in hand or it's got to be encumbered?
No, it's got to be gone. It's got to be. We got to have it. We got to have written
So
a
it's got to
check.
be encumbered?
Yeah, no, it's got to be spent.
I know, but merchandise in hand by the 8th?
Yes.
Or encumbered?
In hand.
By hand.
Yeah.
Okay, question being called for. All in favor?
Aye.
Sir?
I'll second his calling for the question.
I'm sorry.
There
I
wasn't no
apologize.
second there?
Yes, sir, I do need a second. Thank you.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Opposed?
I think that's it.
I didn't cross my heart.
When's the next meeting? Okay, we'll go to number 5, Meredith Rayleigh or Chuck Oscar Jr. We've already done that, I think. We amended that.
Now we need to consider it.
Okay, so now we amended to add this to agenda, Shelley said, so now we need to consider it. For number 5 for Meredith or Chuck.
I move for approval.
Second. Been moved for approval. Any discussion?
Does this need to go to full council, Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
It does. Okay, very good.
Call for the question.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Next meeting is scheduled for Monday, March 12th at 2 p.m.
Second.
Aye.
Aye.